Hi everyone, my name is Miracle Adele. Today we are recording vlog 1 for Marriage and Family. This is covering chapter 3 of Gottman's book, The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work. And that title of the chapter is How I Predict Divorce. So within chapter 3, Gottman really discusses the 4 horsemen of apocalypse, which the right quote from the book says, certain kinds of negativity, if allowed to run rampant in the relationship, are so lethal that this is where he creates the 4 horsemen of apocalypse. So the first horseman is criticism. Criticism is global and expresses negative feelings or opinions of the other's character and personality. So statements, or for example, of criticism, they're harsh startup conversational pieces. So starting off with "you always" or "you never," which really just is an overgeneralization, which can be very lethal to a relationship. The second horseman is contempt. The book says this rises from a sense of superiority over one's partner, and it is a form of disrespect. Contempt is fueled by long simmering negative thoughts about the partner. Okay. The third horseman is defensiveness, which is very natural considering that criticism and contempt are the first 2 horsemen of the apocalypse. So defensiveness is actually natural. One common form is innocent victim, which this role is just escalating conflict. When you become defensive, when the couple has become defensive, either side, either party, it's just going to escalate conflict. The first 3 horsemen function more like a relay race. So they're handing off the baton to each other over and over again. They might not necessarily go in the order of criticism, contempt, and defensiveness, but they do all play an integral part in each other. The last horseman that Gottman highlighted is stonewalling. So this essentially is tuning out the partner, avoiding fights, but ultimately avoiding the marriage. Gottman highlighted that this behavior is more common with men at 85% in the relationships that he has researched, and has seen that the main character, or majority of the time, the main character that is stonewalling comes from the male perspective. Application of the 4 horsemen in counseling, or how other counselors use the 4 horsemen. Me personally, I felt as though the 4 horsemen was a way to measure, like a tool of measurement, in how close someone could be in divorce just by studying the patterns of communication within the couple. Gottman really explained that anytime you see any of these 4 horsemen within the relationship, within the counseling setting, and there is no attempts at resolution, that the 4 horsemen will actually and ultimately take the relationship out and possibly create some negative long-lasting feelings from that relationship. So my perspective of what I've received for how to apply this is just to ask questions, ask how to communicate, ask what an argument looks like from the counseling perspective of dealing with your clients while in session. And if you do see the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse within the counseling session, it is important to establish some resolution pieces, some resolution tips or attempts, because without that, it is a higher rate for the 4 horsemen to be the apocalypse, or to be the end of the relationship. So that is what I perceived from reading chapter 3, how I predict divorce, in Gottman's book, The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work. Thank you for listening.